Welcome everyone to The Howl. I'm Madeline Bleasdale, and in this episode, I sat down with Dylan Kim, Delaney Marquette, Bryn Kohler, and Haley Habib to discuss these seniors' final Showchoir season. In this episode, we focus on what it's like to be a part of a family like Showchoir, how their competition seasons work, and how a coed group is important to the success of Hersey's OnStage. Thanks for joining, and we hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Howl. My name is Madeline Bleasdale, and I'm also producing today, and we are very excited to have Dylan Kim, Delaney Marquette, Bryn Kohler, and Haley Habib here in the Dispatch Podcast Studio, powered by Jet's Pizza. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. We're going to start off the show by going around the table and having everyone introduce themselves and let our audience know how long you've been a part of Showchoir and a part of Hersey's OnStage. So if we can start off, Dylan, do you want to start off?
Yeah, my name is Dylan Kim. I'm a senior. I've been doing show choir and choir for the past 2 years. Yeah, and it's been really fun.
Hi, I'm Delaney Marquette. I'm also a senior. I've been doing Hersey Show Choir since 6th grade. I guess like 3rd grade if you count little camps. And then I've been doing OnStage all 4 years. Yeah.
My name's Bryn Kohler, and I'm a senior, and I've been doing OnStage for 3 years.
My name is Haley Habib. I'm also a senior. I've been doing Hersey Showchoir since 7th grade, so 6 years, and then I've been doing OnStage for 4 years since freshman year.
So you all seem very veteran Showchoir members. Do you have any special positions or special performance, like featured performances that you've had throughout your high school experience?
I've gotten to be a dance captain and a choir president this year, and also I got to be Miles Tuck in the musical this year and have a little solo there. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm also a dance captain. I've been a dance captain since junior year. That's really fun. I was choir vice president. That was pretty fun as well. I was in the musical. I do the musicals as well. So yeah, I've never really had a solo in a show choir show or anything, but yeah.
This was actually my first year auditioning for anything in a Showchoir show, solo related, and I got a solo this year, and I was very happy. It was a really good experience, and it does make me kind of wish that I auditioned for something sooner, but I'm glad that I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, I don't really do like the solos or anything like that, but I'm Showchoir president, and I've been tour manager for the past 2 years, so that's another title that I hold.
Could you give a brief example of what tour manager is?
Of course I could. So tour manager, basically we pack up the bus for comps, so we just make sure that everything's like where it's supposed to be. We make sure we don't leave anything at school or leave anything at the competitions, just basically like in charge of the supplies and the props.
That's very nice. Could you all go around and give an example, or just one of you, about what Showchoir is, and like for those who do not know?
Sure. Showchoir basically is just, it's like choir but with movement and dancing. So basically we go on and we put together a show, and it could be based on like a theme of an existing musical or something like that, but usually what Hersey does is we'll take 5 or more songs, meld them together, and create a storyline out of that, and then we sing the songs on stage while we also have choreography with it. So usually Ms., our director, will pick like one single storyline and then pick the songs based off of that storyline, and then we perform that and get judged at competitions.
That's so cool. For competitions, what does that entail? Could any of you give like a rundown of a day in the life of a Showchoir competition?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on what type of competition you're going to. All of them are pretty similar, but also each of them have their own little differences. Some of them have this thing called finals, which means you have to qualify for finals, which means you have to participate in a competition in the morning and then basically beat out some of the other groups so that you get the chance to perform again at night. And then some competitions, there's just one performance that is all day. And we get there pretty early in the morning, packed the bus. The bus is always really fun because we get that kind of bonding moment. I'll miss that for sure. But yeah, and usually competitions is kind of a running joke that competitions have really good smoothies and stuff and food. So we kind of spent the whole day with our friends, like doing makeup and periodically going to fix your hair, and then going back and watching other show choir groups, and kind of seeing where you stand with them and seeing the space. And the spaces are usually pretty chaotic and noisy and crowded and filled with lights. So it definitely gets you amped up for the final performance later after you've eaten and talked to a bunch of new people. And yeah, you get to meet a whole bunch of people, and then you get to perform for them later. And yeah, the energy is usually really good.
That's so fun. For those of you that have been involved in the middle school group, as Delaney Marquette mentioned, Center Stage, what was a big difference joining from going as a middle schooler into high school?
I mean, personally, I think that the biggest difference is just like the energy at the competitions, because when you're a middle schooler, I feel like, for me at least, it was a lot more frightening, because I feel like we were surrounded by a lot of high schoolers, a lot of these big kids, and they would, like the OnStage at the time, would come and watch our comps, and they would cheer us on, and it was super fun to be cheered on, but I was also so scared of performing in front of them. But now I feel like I'm a lot less nervous, and I'm like just as excited as I was before, but it feels more like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I don't feel like as scared to do it anymore. And I feel like also in middle school, our themes were usually just like magic or wings or something like that, but now it's more of a storyline, which is a big difference as well. Delaney, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I kind of miss the middle school show choir. We don't have it anymore. It was removed after COVID, and I was always, when I was in middle school, looking forward to being able to go back and watch the middle school kids do their thing when I finally got to be a high schooler. And now that that doesn't exist, it's kind of sad, because I was always kind of worried that they wouldn't want to watch us, and they were just kind of like doing it to do it. But now that I'm here, I know that I genuinely would want to watch them do it and want to cheer them on. So I'm kind of sad that we don't have that, because I think I would really like to see that part of what I used to do again, but I don't get that. So yeah.
You mentioned COVID. I would like to ask, how has show choir evolved since your freshman year, since all of you being seniors started in the middle of COVID? Do you have anything to say on that?
Well, the COVID year was crazy. During 2020, we practiced in the football field. I feel like I remember laying down for one of our breaks because it was so hot out there, and I just looked across the football field. You could see
rising,
you could see the heat rising across the field. It was wild.
There were bats one day.
There were bats outside. That was during choir concert, wasn't it?
What? I don't even remember this.
And then for our competitions, we filmed our show and then just sent it out to the competitions. We didn't go anywhere. That freshman year, I feel like it's so different now, because back in freshman year, because we didn't get to really interact with people, we just kind of got, pushed. We were very distanced from each other because it was COVID. So we didn't really know any of the seniors, or at least I didn't, because I didn't do the high school musicals before I got to high school, but I didn't know any of the seniors. I felt like very disconnected from the upperclassmen. But the second we go into my sophomore year, I felt like I could actually talk to the upperclassmen and the seniors and the juniors, and I felt like it's only gotten better since then, where all of the grades feel a lot more connected than they were back in COVID.
I think they're more connected than they were ever before as well, because I used to do the shows in middle school with Madeline, and all the people were really friends, but you can kind of tell that they were little groups. And I feel like everyone now is like, it's more common. Like Dylan's best friend is a sophomore, one of them, and so it's just like everyone is so interconnected, and everyone just gets to like hang out. And well, one of my best friends is a sophomore too, but you just get to like meet so many new people and like talk to so many new people that I don't think we really had with when we were their age. We didn't really, even sophomore year, we didn't really have that sort of connection. They were still kind of mentor-ish rather than friend.
Mm-hmm. I remember when in freshman year, we have a choir concert called Fallapalooza. And back then, everybody still was wearing masks and stuff like that. And we did this concert in the bleachers of the football field. And when OnStage was doing their performance, I was one of the only people that didn't go down. Like, it was a lot of people were in OnStage at the time. And I watched everybody dance, of course, like 6 feet apart and stuff like that, and still had their masks on and with a sweetener track. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, maybe it was a good thing that I decided not to do this during COVID.
Yeah, so Bryn and Dylan, you all joined after COVID. Well, COVID was still around, but not the brunt of it, if you know what I mean. How was that joining then when it was more back to normal?
I would say it felt, I don't know, it just felt like an established group. It didn't feel like I was really missing anything. Like I would assume I would feel if I joined earlier or had to go through like center stage and then like COVID and then back to like kind of normal. But junior year was like, at least for me, like where we didn't have to like worry about masks at all or like having to social distance and just having the ability to go and do what we wanted, like at comps and whatnot, was liberating.
That's nice.
It was difficult. Because I felt like everybody there kind of knew each other, and I didn't. And even though I did know a lot of people that were already my friends before, like in middle school and in freshman year and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I don't know if I have the same connection that I do with upperclassmen. But I mean, as the year went on, it got easier, and I did feel like I was more friends with them. We're always together at every waking moment, so it was kind of easy.
No kidding.
So, in the past years, OnStage has struggled to have a lot of boy members join. But this past year, we had a spike in, this year we've had a spike in guys joining. Do you think it's important to have a male presence in show choir, Dylan, or anyone who wants to speak on this?
Yeah, I think honestly, like any arts, has always been, or have always been like less, I guess, socially acceptable maybe, and like accessible to males. And I believe that, more and more males should pursue and be able to pursue the arts that they want to without feeling judged. And in show choir too, like it's still especially important because it's a skill as any, and takes talent, and is also very physical, and obviously females are able to be strong and like dance just as well, but I think it is important to be able to have guys in show choir and theater and choir.
I think that that's important as well, and I think that it's important that we do outreach with the guys, especially in middle school like that too, but it's also important that we don't forget to do outreach to the girls, because if we only outreach to the guys, the girls feel like a lot less prioritized, especially. And I think that while we had a spike in male members joining this year, I don't necessarily know that we had a spike in female members as well. It didn't feel as proportional. So I think that it's important that we like make sure that we're doing outreach to everybody, because it should not begin to feel like we only care about male members joining. I think that we should feel like we care about everybody trying out and not just half. And I'm not saying that it is that way now, but I'm just saying that we shouldn't make it that way.
I think that there's definitely probably a lot of boys who want to do show choir but don't do it because of the things that Dylan said. Like, I know I talk to people all the time. I'm like, oh, like, you probably would like this. And they're like, yeah, but, like, what about this and this and this? And I'm like, oh, I know. And then you see people join it, people that, people that there's this one boy, his name is Danny, and he joined it this year, and he told me that he never really had done anything like it before because he never really had the chance to, but now he's here, and he just loves it, and it's, like, his brand new passion, and he's going to do it, like, forever. And I was like, I feel like that could be so many people, not just boys. Like Haley said, there could be a bunch of girls out there probably for the same pressure reason. And I feel like if it's something that you're interested in, you should just, like, I don't know why we put so much emphasis on like what other people like care about, because it really is fun. And then I see it at like other schools, and I don't know if it's like an us thing or if it's just like an us thing being like a Hersey thing, or if it's a thing about like high schoolers in general, because lots of other show choirs have very proportionate amounts of boys and girls, and OnStage used to take as many girls as it did boys, which is, you know, a little bit of a, but it also, you know, allowed for vocal balance, but there's always going to be more girls that try out, but who knows. But I feel like, I don't know if it's like an us thing and it's like a Hersey thing that we need to work on specifically, or if it's like across other show choirs, because some show choirs don't seem to have that problem. So I don't really know what it is, but I do think that boys joining is important, and I think that girls joining and staying joined is important as well.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to say for our listeners about Showchoir, or like what kind of community it is in general? Or
Yeah, I would like to say, going off of what Delaney said, that a lot of people don't join until later into their high school careers. I know Dylan didn't. And I know that even when I joined in 7th grade, I regretted not joining in 6th grade because I was like, this is so fun. And I feel like people don't realize how fun it is and how great of community Showchoir is, because it's like everybody there just wants you to succeed. They don't want you to be the coolest person alive. They don't want you to be like the best at anything. They just want you to succeed. They want you to be happy and do well. And I think that people there are just so accepting and so nice and friendly and opening that it's really just like a community that I would regret never joining. And so I think that if it sounds like something that's interesting to you, at least like check it out, because it actually, I think it's really fun, you know? And I think that a lot of other people that might not give it the chance now would think it's really fun if they gave it a chance in the future.
yeah.
I think that it's really important to have a group in high school that you can go to, that you can make so many friends with. I have said, and I keep saying, that if I don't think that I would have as many friends as I do now if I didn't do Showchoir. I'm with them every single day, and I build so many bonds with them, and so many people can benefit from doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm lucky because all my friends are in Showchoir usually, well, most of them, so I do get to be with them all the time, and then I get to make new friends. Like Bryn said, we're together all the time, so I'm together with my best friends, like, all the time, and we all kind of like have that similar thing. So like whether we're in choir and Showchoir, we all have something that is going on at all times. So we can kind of like talk about or understand. We have something like we're all kind of like at this shared part of our lives that keeps us together, and it always gives us something to like talk about or do or work on. And I don't know. And we have the choir room, and I feel like it's kind of like a home base. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have like a place that I could just like have it be like my homeroom kind of. I can't imagine like. Whenever we have, like, Thursday, school is when we don't have Showchoir, I come to school and I'm like, well, I wonder what my friends are doing, because I don't know what they're doing because I didn't see them that morning. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll just come to school. And it kind of feels, like, wrong almost. I don't know. I can't imagine how other people don't have this little spot. And I'm sure they're doing just fine. But I know that I would not probably be as happy as I am that I get to be with my friends and get to know them all the time.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what the others have said, just spending that much time together, like every morning except Thursdays, and like several weekend 6-hour, 3-hour rehearsals, and all day competitions, spending all that time together. You get to really bond and like see and know everything about every other person in the program.
Well, that's all for today's show. Thank you to Dylan Kim, Delaney Marquette, Bryn Kohler, and Haley Habib. And thank you to our viewers for listening in. Also, a thank you to our sponsor, Jet Pizza, right over on Rand Road. And that will do for this episode. I'm Madeline Bleasdale, and I'm also producing. And thanks again, and see you on our next episode.